Mike and Tom are registered with Steward Partners Global Advisory LLC.
Common Sense Finance with Mike Wiginton and Tom Farrell of HL Wiginton Capital Management, an independent investment and financial planning firm in downtown Jasper. Mike is a chartered financial analyst charter holder, and Tom is a certified financial planner professional. They are here to discuss and give their thoughts on current financial and economic matters. Now, with Common Sense Finance, here are Mike and Tom.
All right, welcome back to another edition of Common Sense Finance. I'm Tom Farrell. This is Mike Wiginton, and this is not a rerun. So just let everybody know, because we're going to be talking about energy here and talk in a little bit different angle than we have in the past. But you know, we read a lot of articles, we come across a lot of information, and a lot of what we have been saying, or Mike has put forth in the last year or so has started to come to fruition, as everybody has seen with energy prices and gas prices going up, natural gas. But it may be we're in a little situation that's even more prolonged than what we had originally thought it could be.
Yeah, so this is like just a little clip out of our, what I refer to as our energy thesis, and it really doesn't have anything to do. I mean, the articles, and you got this article here from the Wall Street Journal that got me thinking about this, and it's baloney, it's baloney, because these articles that we read just set us off on a topic to do a podcast on. The information that we have is coming from very serious research done from obscure places, and in this case, various people, their entire lives devoted to energy. That's all. You don't hear about them. You don't read about them. They're not in the national news. But their entire firm, the entire existence of their firm and their body of work, in this case, it has been given to energy. And so the little conversation, or there's no conversation really at all about it today, but it's a huge deal when it comes to energy, is the idea, and there are people that I pay attention to that I absolutely believe are worth paying attention to, that say, man, we're up against the world's capacity to produce oil. So just this morning I forwarded a CNBC article to some people that showed that, okay, we were counting on OPEC, and what's today's date? June the 3rd. Yep. Okay, so we were counting on OPEC to increase oil production, and it tells us, well, we can't do it. And listen, I think the world's going to become more and more knowledgeable about this. I don't care about Saudi Arabia, that there is a very real probability that we can't increase production of oil, okay? And if we could increase production of oil, all right, it's going to take capital expenditures to find new reserves, all right? But there's very real doubt that we can't. It's just like with natural gas, and I don't know if many of you, look, we'll have Oliver Stone flash up. I've got a graph of natural gas prices, okay, the front month futures, and so we'll put that in whatever time we'll send him the graph, okay. So you'll see that in just a second, and but there's very real conversation in these research firms that I'm speaking of about, hey, the Energy Information Administration has vastly overestimated the potential for our United States shale plays, and that and it's already happened with some, but now our most productive are like the Permian Basin. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you look this up, the Permian Basin or the Marcellus field, and that they are nearing exhaustion, where they're going to start exhibiting decreases in production. Mm-hmm. And I think when the world begins to grapple with that, and this is not some sort of 10 or 20 or 30 year forward. This may be in the next 2-3 years that you see this, that natural gas is off to the races, and this whole energy theme is going to be one that is long term, not some spike. It has nothing to do with the war. This all started before the Ukrainian Russia war. So there's a lot of this. There's an underlying story here that's not being told yet, but I think it's coming.
Yeah.
And what about the article that you brought up on coal prices this morning out of the Wall Street Journal?
Yeah, the highest, record highs right now. And like we were talking about earlier, and I think it states in the article that a lot of the coal companies, they've sold all their coal for the year. They've already filled as much as they can fill, and they're done for the year. You know, and you know, you think, well, a lot of these people are talking about, well, we can just go back, since natural gas prices are so high, we can go back to burning coal to produce electricity. Well, you know, that's not you don't have a good option right now. Everything's inflated.
Well, they've shut down 1/3, according to the article, a full 1/3 of the old coal burning facilities are gone. Okay, so it comes back to production capacity again. So the article will say, well, you know, we had this pandemic, post-pandemic spike in energy usage, and it's created. No, that's not what's happened. What's happened is that you don't have the production capacity of coal anymore, and now you're competing with these other, and we always have to a large degree, with these other countries that are trying to turn back onto coal because they don't want to buy. You know, they can't get or don't want to get their production from Russia. Okay, so you shut down 1/3 of our coal-fired plants. I guarantee you, there's not nearly as many coal companies mining for coal anymore. So what is your production capacity for coal in this country? And you said it, they're sold out. You're up against your production capacity. So now so the only thing that's left is prices are going higher.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to, like I said, it seems quite obvious to me. I don't think this is a mental teaser at all. I think it's quite obvious that that we're going to be dealing with elevated, and that's nice, elevated energy prices for years to come.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's that'll be, I believe that'll be a conversation we have here on these podcasts going forward.
Yeah, and one more point I wanted to add on that is a lot of these utility companies are talking about, they have these renewable projects that they've been working on, and some of them are pushing those projects back years, not just, you know, to the end of the year, but they're thinking it'll be a lot longer before they get those new renewable resources of energy online. So, you know, that's not something we can just flip the switch and, oh, okay, the coal's expensive, natural gas is expensive, let's just go ahead and you know, put these windmills up and get those turned. But that's not the case. It's going to take a very long time to get for the technology to be there. First of all,
that's assuming they can even produce the power they need with a solar farm. And the one plant they were speaking of in this article is in Indiana. You been to Indiana?
Yeah.
It snows some up there. Yeah,
they have long, dark winters too, I believe.
Well, I don't know about how dark it is, but it's not going to work out. I mean, unless you don't mind going back to, in my opinion, going back to the medieval ages. And people laugh about that or think you're being exaggerating. It's ridiculous. There are reports of people, of businesses in Europe that are burning wood in order to heat, and because they're not using, because of the cost of natural gas in Europe and in Germany, burning wood to heat their businesses. I don't know. I think it's a ridiculous and terrible state of affairs we're dealing with.
With that, we'll see you next time.